Before all this, the bar was the safest place I knew. Sticky floors, cheap drinks, familiar faces. We called it the drop because if life knocked you down hard enough, that's where you'd end up. Every Thursday was trivia night. Every Friday, fights and laughter. We had our regulars, our rules, our rhythm. And then something new walked in. I was behind the bar when the front door slammed open without a hand on the knob. Wynn didn't do that, not like that. The first man who ran in had no lips, just teeth, slick and shining, like something had ripped his mouth clean off but forgot to kill him. He tried to speak. No sound came out, only blood. He collapsed by the jukebox, twitching like a bug on its back. None of us moved. I think we were waiting for someone to laugh and say it was a prank. But then the smell hit. Not rot, not death. This was older, like wet copper baking under a heat lamp. Like something you're not supposed to smell unless you're dying. Then it came in, not running, not crawling, just moving, like a sack of meat given permission to pretend it had bones. It was tall, but only when it wanted to be. It pulsed and twisted, like skin wrapped wrong over too many joints. And its mouth, God help me, it had too many mouths. It didn't look at us, it listened. And when the jukebox switched tracks, when Sweet Home Alabama kicked in, it screamed. Then the walls came down, and the floor ran red. I'm not telling you this for attention. I'm telling you because I survived. And if you're somewhere, if you're in a bar or a diner or any place where the walls feel thin, you need to hear these tips because it didn't stop with the drop. And next time, it might come through your door. Tip 1. Never assume the walls will hold. You might think the place you're in is solid, cement foundation, reinforced beams, a storm shelter once maybe, a bar now. Hell, some people feel safer behind bricks than bullets. That's a lie, because walls don't matter to the thing that came for us. At the drop, we had concrete block walls and a steel-reinforced back door. Didn't stop it. It went through the wall between the kitchen and the alley like it was cheap drywall. Didn't even slow down. Just a wet impact, and then a hole full of screaming. Worse, it learned what the walls were. At first, it just smashed through, but later, it tested them, tapped them, scraped along the baseboards. It listened, and when it came back, it used the weak spots, punched through the soft wood under the bar instead of the front, ripped open a vent cover to slither through the ceiling crawl space. Walls didn't hold it. They guided it, like they were helping. So don't waste your time stacking furniture or locking every deadbolt. You need to think like prey. What would you do if you knew a monster could hear nails creaking in the floorboards? If you knew it could smell which wall was hiding your breath? Don't trust the walls. Learn them, map them, treat them like cracked eggshells. And if you have to choose a room to hide in, pick the one with the fewest corners to die in. because once it's inside, you won't have time to regret choosing wrong, only time to scream. And that's exactly what it wants. Tip 2. Don't waste bullets on its face. We had guns, plenty of them. Shotguns behind the bar, pistol on my hip. Johnny had a hunting rifle with a scope and a cracked stock he used, like a club more than a shooter. Didn't matter. The first person to aim for its head was a guy named Trent. Ex-military, big talker, always first to offer help when things went south. He emptied half a mag into its skull. It flinched, that's all. Just flinched, like he'd slapped it with a wet towel. Then it opened another mouth right under the wound. A fresh row of teeth pushed through like nails from a coffin. Trent didn't scream. There wasn't enough time. That thing took his head off with its shoulder. I don't even know how. Just turned a little, and Trent's neck popped like a balloon full of red steam. Here's what we figured out, and we figured it out fast. It doesn't keep its brain in its head. Hell, we're not sure it even has one. Or maybe it moves it. Bullets are only good for slowing it down. Distraction, dismemberment. Take a limb if you can. Make it crawl. Make it bleed something black. But don't expect a clean kill. Not from range. Not with precision. You want to survive. Don't play cowboy. Aim to escape, not to win. Because you can't outshoot something that doesn't die the way you do. Tip 3. Keep moving, even when it's quiet. The worst sound that night wasn't the screaming, wasn't the gunshots, wasn't the sound of a body being peeled open like fruit. It was silence. There's a moment right after the creature feeds where everything stops. No movement, no breathing, no footsteps, no creaking floorboards, no distant sobs, just silence thick enough to choke on. And that's when people got comfortable. After it tore through the kitchen, we holed up in the freezer. 6 of us, shoulder to shoulder in the cold, sweating and shaking and whispering, thinking maybe, just maybe, it had moved on. It hadn't. We waited too long. It circled, it learned the walls, and it listened, because it wasn't hunting by sight. It was hunting by stillness, like the quiet gave it sonar. When we stopped moving, it found us. One moment we were frozen. The next, the entire steel wall buckled inward like it had been punched by a god. It didn't crawl in. It folded in, broke the freezer door off its hinges and dragged Martha out by her throat. She didn't even scream. Too shocked. Too fast. That's when I understood. Staying still makes you a target. Movement confuses it. Smell, sound, heat. It expects a pattern. Stillness gives it one. So keep moving, even a slow shuffle, a breath out of rhythm, anything to throw off the hunt, because when it's quiet, it's not gone. It's waiting, and the first one to relax is the next one to die. Tip 4. Fire hurts it, but not the way you think. We didn't know what else to try. Bullets didn't work. Knives, useless. Crowbars just made it angrier. So someone yelled, "Set it on fire." And in our panic, we listened. We broke apart the stools, tore liquor bottles off the shelf, poured whiskey and rum and vodka into a trail across the floor. One guy, Danny, lit his shirt with a Zippo and dragged the flame like a match across it. The whole bar went up like a bonfire built in hell. And yeah, it screamed. That thing let out a howl that rattled bottles, still sealed behind the bar. It thrashed. It rolled. And for one beautiful second, we thought it might actually burn to death. But it didn't. The fire didn't kill it. It made it change. Its skin, if you can even call it that, cracked open and sloughed off in sheets. And underneath, more mouths, more muscle, less shape, like fire peeled off its mask and showed us what it really was. We'd heard it, no doubt about that, but we also freed it, gave it permission to stop pretending it was ever close to human. Fireworks, it makes it retreat, makes it howl, buys you seconds. But only if you don't burn too much. Get greedy with the flame, and you'll see something worse rise up out of the ashes. Something raw, something old, something that bleeds smoke and grows teeth in places that shouldn't move. So use fire like a scream, sharp, sudden, then run. And never, and I mean never, stand around to watch it burn. Tip 5. You won't save everyone, so stop trying. This one's going to hurt, but if you want to live, you've got to understand it. You won't save them all. Not your friends, not the regulars you've shared 100 nights with. Not the guy bleeding out by the jukebox begging you not to leave him. You can try. We did. We dragged Kate out from under a shattered table, her leg barely hanging on. Tried to patch her up with a bar towel and a belt. We thought if we made it to the storeroom, we could hold out until morning. But dragging her slowed us down. She screamed every time we moved her. And those screams, it followed them. We made it to the storeroom. It made it there faster. She looked at me and said, "Don't let go." But I did. I let go, because if I hadn't, we'd both be gone. I hear her voice in my dreams sometimes, but I'm still here. Listen to me. You need to learn the difference between being human and staying alive. One of them feels good. The other one gives you a future. If someone's slowing you down, making noise, bleeding too much, you let them go. Because the thing out there doesn't care about your guilt. It doesn't care who you love. It doesn't care who you promise to protect. All it cares about is how long it takes to get to the next warm body. Tip 6. If you can smell it, it can already smell you. It has a scent, something you never forget once it hits the back of your throat. Burnt meat soaked in bleach, wet fur rotting in vinegar, like a butcher shop left open in the sun, crawling with flies you can't see. That smell means it's near, but it's not a warning. It's a message. You're in its space now. And worse, it's already clocked you. The thing doesn't see like we do. It doesn't need to. It tastes the air, smells adrenaline, fear, sweat. If you're panting, bleeding, crying, it's like ringing the dinner bell. If you're hiding, it'll find the blood first, then the breath, then you. We made the mistake of thinking darkness meant safety, turned off the lights, sat still, held our breath. Didn't matter. It sniffed us out, through 2 walls and a locked cooler. You ever seen something smell a heartbeat? I have. So if you're leaking, wrap it tight, burn it shut, rip the fabric off your shirt and bite down on it. Do what it takes. If you can smell it, it's already tracked you. You're not hiding anymore. You're marinating. Tip 7. It learns voices, then it uses them. We thought it was gone. No growls, no scraping, no stink in the air. Then we heard Danny. He'd been dead for an hour. We saw it happen. Watched his body get yanked through the shattered bathroom mirror like it was being swallowed. We found pieces of him later, some of them still twitching, but from the hallway we heard his voice. Guys, it's okay now. It's gone. You can come out. And for one awful second, we almost believed him. It sounded just like Danny, the same nervous laugh, the way he always dragged the word okay, like he didn't really believe it. But something was off, too clean, too calm, like a recording played just a little too slow. When no one moved, the voice changed. It started trying other people, mimicking them like a child imitating its parents. Wrong pitches, wrong inflections. It even tried crying like Martha did. That's when we knew it doesn't just hunt with claws. It hunts with familiarity. Your mom's voice, your best friend's whisper. The exact way your kid says your name when they're scared. It remembers, repeats, replays. So if you're hiding in the dark and you hear someone calling to you, someone you know is dead, don't speak, don't cry, don't answer, because it's not them. It's what killed them, wearing their voice like a trophy. Tip 8. The first one feeds fast, the second one watches. We thought there was only one. That was mistake number 1. The thing that hit the drop. It was a monster, sure, but it wasn't alone. After it tore through half the bar and left behind a blood fog you could taste, it didn't eat everything. It left some of the bodies intact. Why? Because something bigger showed up an hour later. Something slower, heavier. Didn't crawl, didn't run. It moved like it already owned the room. We didn't hear it arrive. We felt it, a pressure drop, like the air itself was holding its breath. The first one screamed when it showed up, actually screamed, high and sharp, like a child being scolded. Then it backed away from what was left of Trent's body. That's when we understood. The first one's not the alpha. It's the butcher, the opener, the one that softens the prey and paints the walls red. But the second, that one feeds slow. It doesn't eat for hunger. It eats for pleasure. It peeled Martha's body like fruit. Didn't just chew, it examined, like it was learning how we were put together. And when it finished, it looked at us, or maybe through us. Then it left, didn't chase, didn't hunt, just disappeared into the dark like it was done for the night. So remember, if you're dealing with one, there's probably another. And the second one, it isn't there to kill you. It's there to study you. And if it watches long enough, it might become you. Tip 9, it doesn't just adapt, it adapts to you. It didn't move the same way twice. At first it crawled, then it ran. Then it climbed the walls like a spider with too many elbows. But that wasn't the part that scared me most. What scared me was when it started copying us. I saw it drag itself across the floor, limping, just like Kate after her leg got shredded. It learned how to fake injury, made us think it was wounded, weak. That bought it time, just enough for someone to get close. Then it changed again. Its skin went slack, hung lower. Its bones stretched in wrong places. But the outline, it looked human, looked familiar. It didn't become anyone exactly, but it wore silhouettes like shadows. Danny's slouched shoulders, Martha's twisted walk, my own stance when I'm scared and trying not to show it. It watched us, learned our tics, our habits, and then it used them. The guy hiding in the storage room saw someone who looked just enough like me that he opened the door. The thing didn't even need to run. It just stepped in and shut the door behind it. We found pieces of him in the mop sink. So don't trust what you see. Don't trust what you feel. It's not just copying a species. It's copying you, your wounds, your gait, your scent, your smile. And once it becomes close enough, you won't even realize you've let it in until the door's shut and your back is turned. Tip 10. If you want to live, you have to be worse than it. This isn't about bravery. This isn't about doing what's right. This is about doing what it takes. There was one exit left. We'd blocked every other door with tables, freezers, corpses, anything we could move. But that last hallway led straight out. One path, wide enough for 2 people. Me and another guy, Rico, made it there first. Behind us, screams. Ahead of us, silence. Freedom. But Rico froze. He heard something down the hallway, said, "It's a trap. It's waiting." He wanted to go back, try the vents. I didn't argue. I just shoved him forward. It took him first. While it was busy tearing, I ran, made it outside. Snow, streetlights, distant sirens. I didn't look back. You want a happy ending? That's not the story. The thing is still out there, or things plural, feeding, changing, moving on to the next bar, the next town, the next unlucky group of warm bodies pretending they're safe behind wooden doors. If you want to live through something like this, you need to stop thinking you're the hero. Heroes die screaming in the dark. Survivors, we make decisions. Ugly ones, fast ones. If someone's slowing you down, you let them fall. If it's between saving a friend and saving yourself, you already know the answer. You're not here to beat the monster. You're here to outmonster it. I made it out, but I didn't escape. I still hear it sometimes, in the walls when I close my eyes, in the silence between heartbeats, when the power goes out and the air feels too still. No one believed me. Not the cops, not the reporters, not the people cleaning blood from the sidewalk the next morning, saying it was just another gas explosion or gang fight gone bad. They didn't see the teeth that weren't connected to anything, didn't smell the meat stink that soaked into the floorboards, didn't watch a friend beg you not to run while something wore his voice like a grin. But you believe me, don't you? You wouldn't be listening this far if some part of you didn't already know. Maybe you've heard it before. Scratching behind the drywall, laughing from a closet no one opened, mimicking your voice just wrong enough to be ignored. If you've seen it, if you've smelled it, you already know these tips aren't advice. They're a countdown. And if the walls around you are still holding, then start moving. Because the thing that tore through the bar didn't stay there. And it's always hungry. If you're still breathing, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you dare. There are plenty more nightmares waiting for you. And whatever you do, don't forget to ring the bell. It's the only way you'll hear the warnings in time.